love, love, love till I feel that breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello. Welcome to Spirit of Life. My name is Geraldine, your host, and our guest is Ruth Roussety. She's a retired teacher who now volunteers with God's work. Welcome, Ruth.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great that you are willing to share your faith, and I'm very interested to know about how you do share your faith. So how was it that you have such strong faith?
I don't know how strong it is, but I just love God because I grew up in a Christian family since I was very little. And then I feel that I have always been involved in school, in church activities. When I was little, I was part of a youth group. And then when I became older, I taught a youth group.
That's amazing.
And yes, I have always been involved in the activities of the church, preparing children for sacramental programs. And then now that I'm an adult and I'm an older person, I prepare adults as well to become Christian, which we call the RCIA program.
Fantastic. Me being having had a lot of experience with youth, I'm very interested to hear about what youth group and what did you do in your youth group way back when you were younger.
When I was young, we had a mass every Sunday at 3 o'clock. All the children from primary school comes. And then they taught us about God, about religion, about the parts of the Mass and things like this. And then every Sunday at 3 o'clock, that group will go to church. And there was a special Mass said for this group. It was quite interesting, and the parents were very involved in bringing their children and get them to participate in the activities.
Oh, fantastic. And what did they break it into different age groups, or was just one age group altogether?
They were like prep to grade 6, but we have different teachers or different helpers, so each one will have one age group. And then, but when we have the Mass, it was all for the whole group.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes. And I remember that you talked earlier on about that you were brought up with a father or second
Stepfather.
father. Yes. And he was a Seventh-day Adventist.
Yes. I grew up in a Catholic family, but when I was 3 years old, my father died. And then my mother remarried when I was 9 to a Seventh-day Adventist. And I think this is when my faith of God became stronger, because the Seventh-day Adventists would have the priest come to our house every Friday before the Sabbath. And then there they were just learning and discussing the Bible stories. And I find, although I was not a Seventh-day Adventist, but I sat down with them and learned from them as well. And my stepfather was a great person. He was like a father to us. Perhaps I didn't know my father because I was only 3. But this stepfather was a very religious person. And I grew up in a house where there was no smoking, no drinking, and we always learned how to speak to each other with respect and love. And, when you talk about step-parents, it's always negative. But for me, I had great admiration for my stepfather. Everything I know in life, I owe it to him.
That's fantastic. And
Yes.
I remember you saying that he encouraged you to go to Mass.
Yes, every Saturday night he will say, make sure you get your clothes and your shoes ready for Mass tomorrow. So he encouraged. But the children that my mum had for him were baptized in the Seventh-day Adventists. But he respected our religion in keeping the children of my father in our own church.
Yeah, and it sounds like you got along with your other step-sisters and brothers.
Yes, we get on very well. I have 2 sisters in France, my step-sisters, because all the one from my father, they are all dead. I'm the only one still alive. And then I have 2 step-brothers here as well, and 2 in Mauritius.
That's great.
Yes.
And because of your deep faith, I hear that you've been in a lot of ministries.
Yes, I'm very involved in the church at St. Michael's here in Ashburton, because I give communion in the church. I prepare children for sacramental programs as well. I even help parents preparing their children for baptism and prepare the parents for the baptism of their children. And I give communion to the old people's place as well. For me, it's a great gift to be allowed to do that. because, you know, if you know God, it's not only say, I know him, but it's good to pass on what you know about him to other people.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic that you can
Yeah.
share your faith. And
Yes.
what do you think about these days, people who have different faiths?
It's not what religion you belong to, it's how you live, how you behave, how you treat others. For me, this is, I might say I'm a Catholic, that doesn't mean I'm a better person than someone from a Church of England or a Seventh-day Adventist person. It's my behavior, it's my treatment of other people that counts. So for me, loving God is loving other people.
That's fantastic. And I remember that you, even going down the street, you really try to reach out to people.
Yes, I do that very much. I smile, and if they smile at me back, and I said, if they say a kind word to me, I will say, God is talking to me or smiling to me through this person. And I like doing this. If they don't want to answer me, I said, perhaps this person must be saying, this woman doesn't know me, why is she smiling at me or talking to me? But I just love doing this. I think because when I leave my house to go out, I always say, God, I'm leaving my house in your hands, but make my words be your words, make my mouth be yours in talking to the people I meet, and let me treat them as a Christian person.
That's beautiful. And you see God in everyone.
Of course. I do see him in everyone. If someone, as I said to you, if someone smiles at me, if someone says the kind words to me, I said it is God smiling to me or saying that kind word to me through this person.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's wonderful, and that's how I met you to do this interview.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And-
And I just like the way you met me that day, because you were talking with someone, and then I said, hello, how are you? I hadn't seen you for a while. And you said, what about coming to my house for lunch or dinner, I think it was. And I said to myself, isn't that kind of her? And I said, God, thank you for making this person try to say something kind to me, you know, because we hadn't met for a long time, and you just asked me over to your house. And I think that was a beautiful thing to do. It was a nice gesture.
Thank you very much. We're going to go for a break now. You've been watching Spirit of Life. We'll be back after the break.
Go till I hear the breath of the Spirit flowing in me. Go till I hear the breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello, welcome back to Spirit of Life. My name is Geraldine, your host, and our guest is Ruth Roussety. She's a retired teacher who volunteers in teaching and ministry in the church. Hi. Ruth. Welcome back again. We were talking about the RCIA, and could you explain what RCIA is?
RCIA is a program for adults. You know, some people might have been born in a family and they were not Christian. It was not from a Christian family, but when they grow up, they want to decide to become a Christian. Or some people were a different religion and then they want to change. So we do it with adults. Sometimes we have it with teenagers, not very, very young, but it's always done with adults. And it's a program when you have to teach about religion, about faith. You teach them about the part of the church, explain what the Mass is about, and then in that program, they receive all the sacraments. You mean like reconciliation, First Communion, and confirmation.
Yep. For those of our audience who are not Catholics, could you explain what reconciliation is?
Reconciliation is a sacrament when you regret what you've done wrong and you ask for God's forgiveness. So reconciliation is a forgiveness program. Yes.
And it's an interaction between priests and where they talk to the priests?
Yes. You can talk to the priest or you can talk to God directly, but it is a sacrament that you need to have before you receive the sacrament of First Communion. So if Jesus himself forgave people for many things they've done, so we being Christian or being human being, we have to forgive each other as well. So it's a great sacrament, I think, to learn to forgive.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And what does a sacrament mean? I know myself, but just so for the audience.
A sacrament is to act and receive what God expects from you. If you have to receive the sacrament, you have baptism is the greatest one, because this is what makes you part of God's family. Because I said family because the church is not the building, the church is the group of people, it's the community. So to become part of this community, you get baptized, and this become like your family.
That's great.
Yes.
You're a good teacher.
And then from there, you will, when you grow older, then you go for the reconciliation, because now at the age of 8, 9, you know what is wrong and what is good. So your behavior will tell you what have you done. And for me, even when I was little, even now, each time when a night comes and before I go to sleep, I will sit down and think, how was my day? What good things that I did, what bad things that I did as well. So that will teach me for the next day, how do I behave.
Oh, that's a very good thing to do. I probably ought to do it. It's like an examination of conscience,
Yes,
isn't it?
I don't know that everybody does it, but for me, I always look how I spent my day, what good things did I do and what bad things did I do.
Yes. I like also to add to that is the Jesuits, they add an extra thing where they say, where was God through my day? Where was the
Yes,
presence
exactly.
of God and the
So
power
this
of
is
God?
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so that's
Yes.
good. Or what is the gift in your day?
And also sometimes we get busy with our lives, we forget that there's God. You know, God is waiting for us to talk to him. Because if we miss talking to our friends for a while and say, oh, I have not talked to that person, we have not met for a while, and you will try to make an effort to catch up with this person. But with God, we have to talk to him every day. And I wonder what he says when we don't communicate to him.
So do you talk to God through the day or the beginning at the end? Or?
I talk to him all day long.
Really?
Yes, when I'm cooking, when I'm washing, when I'm cleaning.
Oh, wow.
Each minute that I have, I talk to him.
Are you like me? I don't always hear God. I kind of thought, is that my thoughts or is that God when I talk to God? Or do you find that there's some clarity when you talk to God and you hear him back?
Yes. You know, if I'm, this might sound stupid, but if I'm looking for something and I can't find that where that thing is, I said, please God, guide me to where that is. You won't believe and suddenly I'll say it. I'm not being fanatic or whatever.
Oh, no, I believe you.
I often, if I'm looking for something for a while and I can't find it, and I keep on saying, please God, guide me there, you know, and it happens.
Yeah, well, you save a lot of time. I should do that more often. I tend to call God only when I've tried myself. And sometimes I could have saved time if I went straight to God, wouldn't I?
And I don't talk to God only when I want good things or when I want good things to happen to me. And even when something bad happens to me, I talk to him. Because there must be a reason why things like this happen to us. So I talk to him at all times.
That's fantastic. Because some people talk to God like Father Christmas, only when they want something. They don't talk to God when things are going good.
For me, I talk to him in any situation in my life. I talk to him. And I am so grateful that I know him and I believe in him, because otherwise I don't know how sort of life I would have had.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Meaning generates energy, isn't it, when you have meaning in life?
Exactly.
Yes. And do you see God like your father, as like a father image, or more like a friend? Which do you connect with, or the Holy Spirit?
I think it can be both. You can. It depends how you speak to him and in what situation you're talking to him. Because when you talk to a friend and you talk to your father or your mother, it's a different level of conversation. But I suppose when we talk to him, it's like that. When we are in great difficulty or if we are in great pain, we talk to him as a father. But when we want to share something that is good, something that is bad as well, it's a different language, a different level of speaking when you speak to a friend. Yeah.
And with your work, when you go down the street too, you talked earlier on about how you always say hello. What if people don't say hello back?
As I said, if they don't answer what I'm saying, my smile or my word, I would say perhaps these people don't know me and they don't want to react, because some people are friendly. Because if I smile to someone and say, oh, thank you for this lovely smile. But there's some people will just look at me with a sort of not angry face. I have never seen someone showing an angry face, but they will just sort of be surprised. And we walk straight up and not answering. They might turn and they will turn and look at me. But there are people who are really happy when you smile at them.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yes.
On that note, we'll go for a break. You've been watching Spirit of Life. We'll be back after the break.
Blow till I feel the breath of the Spirit blowing in me. Blow, blow, blow till I feel the breath of the Spirit blowing in me.
Welcome back to Spirit of Life. My name is Geraldine Lee, your host, and our guest is Ruth Roussety. She's a retired teacher, and she volunteers in teaching and the RCIA. Welcome back, Ruth. You deal a lot with over your life with ministry, and also with children at schools. Like, how do you deal when there's conflict between children or adults?
I think it's easier to deal with children, but of course it depends on that adults one, if a person you're close to or someone you don't know, but you have to be over certain relationship in order to speak to the person. But for children, if I go in the yard and the children are arguing, fighting, calling names to their friends or whatever, one will be hurt, one will be the one fighting, but I normally will say to that person who is hurt, tell this friend of yours that you don't like what he's saying. And if the person insists in talking, you walk away from that person. And I think by doing this, but there are some children will follow the child, but some of them will just be surprised, how come this one is walking away from me? Because I feel that if you love people who hate you, you will never have enemies. So it's the best way of avoiding conflict with other people.
Yes, no, that's a great way.
Yes, I believe in that. Yes.
And with your work in the RCIA, do you find that people are searching for faith? Like, or is there an increase or decrease in people, searching for their faith in God?
I've done this program for many, many years, but I find that they're all there to know more about God. And I have never seen anyone coming and saying, no, I don't want to continue on. They have all done to the end of the program.
That's great.
Yes. And it's a great program. And I feel when a teacher is teaching someone or teaching an adult, it's not always you teaching them. I think you learn from them as well. But this program is a fantastic program because they are adults. You can listen to their thinking, their thoughts, and I think it's fantastic because you learn a lot from them as well.
So it sounds like it's not just a talking head. It sounds like RCIA is interactive.
Yes, yes, it is. They are all the ones I've known are beautiful people. And that's why I said that we learn from them as well. We don't only teach them, but with their reflection, with their life they have had, or the experience that they want to share, and I think you learn from them as well.
Yes, I think that's a great attitude to have, one of empowerment, seeing the gifts in the other.
Yes.
Not thinking, I'm the boss, I'm the expert, and you're the...
Exactly. Yes.
That's a good attitude.
And, like the gift of the Holy Spirit, God has given us all these gifts. It's not for you to keep, but it's the way you share it with other people, because this is what it says, if you share the gifts that God has given you, the gifts of the Holy Spirit, you produce some fruits, and you get the fruits of the Holy Spirit, because those two things go together, the gifts and the fruit of the Holy Spirit.
That's wonderful.
Yes, it's and then all the gifts that God gives us, not for us to keep. We can share them in many ways you want. I am not talking only about material things or money, but you can help people who are sick, cooking them a meal, visiting them, helping them with some of their housework or whatever, and just visit and have a conversation. I think it's a great action to do, to share your gifts of kindness to other people.
That's great.
Yes.
And I suppose as you have received unconditional love from God, we are called to do the same, would you say?
Exactly, yes. Because it says you reap what you sow. So I suppose when you give kindness to people, you get it back from others as well. Perhaps not from the same person, but someone else will do it because God will compensate you for what you do.
Yes, it's more, sometimes in our society, people tend to think that, oh, you know, they're not giving me back.
Yes.
But,
an eye for an eye.
Yeah.
But I think when you do not expect anything back, you will have more joy if you give. If they give you back, that means they are appreciating what you've done for them. But if they don't do, you just accept them as they are. This is how they are. Because
That's
not
good.
everybody think the same. Some people can think, oh, that person has done something kind to me, but they will not do anything or say anything in return. But perhaps in their heart they think they are thankful for what you do.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
that's really good. It's kind of like a bit like pay forward, isn't it?
Yes.
As a social worker, you know, one of our programs we've had in the past is pay forward, where we give to others.
Yes. For me, I give, I do a lot, but I don't expect anything in return. And I feel I have more joy in doing this because I know I think about my own behavior towards others, but I don't expect everybody to be the same. We are all different. This is what makes the world beautiful, the
Yeah.
differences in
Oh,
people.
that's a great attitude to have. I'm not always, I don't always think like that, but I hope to, I can learn from you, you know, that, you know, not to expect and
Thanks.
to
Yeah.
give
Of course.
freely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a good thing to do that. You do as much as you can. If you can't do it, you don't do it. But if you can, I think it's good to help other people.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I know that you also reach out to your neighbors, like
Yes.
that live around you.
I have very good neighbors. I'm just blessed to be in that street. All of them are very kind. I've been sick. Some of them have come and helped me with putting my clothes on the line or ask me,
wow.
I'm going down to the road, do you need milk or bread or whatever,
Oh,
anything
fantastic.
you need? And I think if someone comes to you to do that, you know, I'm raking my yard and my neighbors will come, husband and wife with their rakes, without me asking
Oh,
them and come and help me.
wow. That's
And I think
beautiful.
this is a beautiful kindness and gesture from people.
That's beautiful.
Yes, I have very, very good neighbors. I'm very grateful and respectful to all of them.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic.
Yes.
I wish I lived around your corner. No, I'm pretty
You can
blessed
do the
too.
same for the people in your street.
Yes, I'm blessed too, actually, in my
Yeah.
street.
I know a lot of good people, and I thank God for that because when people, as I said, do something good for me, and I don't think they're just doing this by their own wish, I think they're guided by God.
Wow, so a lot of your neighbors have faith?
Not all of them. They are of different religion, I think, but some of them don't belong to any church. But there's a family who don't go to church at all. But the love that exists in that house, and I think when that mother comes home, the children will run, "Mommy, mommy," you know, hugging,
Yes.
and they do the same for the father. And I think this is where God is.
Yes, God is love.
Yes.
And so that's
I
where
don't
the
look at God
Spirit
only
is.
in religion, but I look at the people's behavior.
Yes, that's beautiful. Well, it's been great having you, and I wish you all the best, and our programs come to an end.
Thank
Goodbye, and God bless you.
Yes, but there's no better things than talking about God, and I think I'm blessed to be here and having this conversation.
Thank you. You've been watching Spirit of Life. Tune in next week. Goodbye, and God bless you.
Bring it to birth and blow where you will. Blow, blow, blow till I be but breath of the Spirit.